Hey there. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important concepts in SAP CPI, which is message mapping. Let's look at the definition first. Message mapping is used to transform the data from one structure to another structure and apply transformation logics if required. If we see the purpose of CPI, it is to get the data from one system, from the source system, transform it and send the output to the receiver system, to the target system, right? So whatever the transformation logics we have, the business requirements we have, we implement them inside the message mapping. So it transforms the data from source structure to the target structure. Let's see how to use this message mapping, how to implement the transformation logics in our CPI tenant. Let's create an integration flow and name it as message mapping. In the description, this iFlow is used to demonstrate the message map. Add and open in editor. Turn on the trace, go to the edit mode. Take the timer and remove the start. Let's discuss the business requirements first. So I have this sample XML coming from the source system. Let's assume this is the payload we receive from the source system, and the target system expects the output in another structure. Let me show you this output structure in a better view. I will say move document to other view. There we have. So this is the source structure which is coming from a source system, and this is what the target system expects. So this is what we have to send to the target system. We can use message mapping to translate this incoming structure, incoming XML structure, to this outgoing XML structure. So let's look at what we have in the output. So here we have employee data, EMP data as the root tag, but in the source system we have company as the root tag. Then we have employees, multiple employees in the source system, whereas in the target it expects the person node. Okay, and in the target we have name, so we need to map the first name as it is to the name, and age as the EMP age, and the salary as the income, and phone number as contact, hire date as joining date, gender same as the gender, and country as nation. So we don't have any logics here, we just translating the source structure into the target structure. We are going to discuss how to implement the transformation logics in message mapping in the next upcoming session, but for this session let's discuss how to translate the source structure to the target structure without any logics. We are just doing a straight mapping but with different field names. That's it. Before we implement this in message mapping, we need to understand a couple of things. First thing is, we have to specifically tell the message mapping, this is what the source structure is and this is what the target structure is. Here, if you look at both the payloads, what are these payloads? These are XML files, right? If you remember, in our first couple of sessions, we discussed about XML introduction. What is XML? What is XPath? What is XSLT? What is XML namespaces? What is XST, right? So what we have discussed about XST? XST is the structure of our XML document. It is the blueprint for our XML document. Let me quickly show you the XST nodes we have. XST stands for XML schema definition. XML schema describes the structure of an XML document. It defines the elements that can appear in XML document, the data types for the elements, the number and the order of child elements. So XST is the blueprint for our XML documents. So we define the structure using XST. We tell message mapping using XST. We tell the message mapping this is the source structure. So in the source structure we have these many elements. These are the names of the elements. This is what the root tag is. This is the data type of the field. These number of times this element can appear in our source document. This is the order of the elements that appear in the source document. So we define everything using the XST document. Same applies to the target structure as well. We define this is the expected structure of our XML document, and these are the sequence of the elements, and this is what the data type of those elements. So we define all those things using XST, right? Let's get back to our discussion. So this is the incoming structure, and this is what we need to send to the target structure. If we can see, we have multiple employees, so we should have multiple persons as well. I am just copy pasting here. So we can write the XST using this sample XML file, but if you are not familiar how to write XST, that is fine. We have couple of online tools where you can convert this sample XML to XST structure, right? Let me show you. Take a new tab, search for XML to XST converter. You can select any website, and here we need to provide our sample XML document. You might get a question here, where can we have these sample documents in real time? Usually when you build an integration, they will provide, the client will provide the source sample XML and the target sample XML as well. So they will provide you the sample files of this is what you will get from the source system, and this is what you need to send to the receiver system, to the target system. So we don't need to worry about the sample files at all. Let's copy our sample file, sample source file, and paste it here, and check this box, generate schema. So this is how the XST structure looks like. Okay, and the first line is called as XML declaration, right? We have these XML declarations in every XML document. This is an optional line. We see it in XML documents, in XSLT as well, in the XST as well. Okay, so this is an optional line. Let's see the next one, XS schema. So we have discussed about this XS colon. All these values are called as XML namespace prefixes, right? XST uses XS colon as the namespace prefix. Every element, every tag you write in the XST should have this XS colon. Okay, and here it is defined, the namespace is defined in the URL, and then we have XS element. It is used to define the node name. Okay, we have name keyword and then company. So what is this company? This is the first tag. This is the root tag of our XML structure. So we have element name equal to company. So what is the type of this node? It is of complex type. So whenever you have multiple tags under this node, it is of complex type. Okay, so we have multiple employee tags under our company, so it is of complex type. Same goes to the employee as well. So employee also has multiple child elements, multiple child tags, so it is of complex type. And then we have this sequence. So this sequence is used to define the order of the child elements. Okay, and then under employee it is of complex type, and then we have sequence again. So we have couple of child elements under the employee, right? And this sequence method is used to define the order of the elements. So first we have first name, and then last name, age, salary and all. So this is the sequence of the elements that can appear in our source XML document. Then what we have? Type. So it defines, this type keyword defines the data type of our value, data type of our first name, last name, age, right? For the first name it says access string, so it is of type string. We have alphabetical characters, right? Any alphabetical character is treated as a string. So we have access string, and last name as well, it is a string. And for age it says unsigned byte. Since we have a small only 2-digit number, it says unsigned byte. All the numbers are called as integers. So for salary you can see we have decimal. Since we have a point values 0, 0.2, 0.3, so all these values are called as decimals. And then phone number, we have unsigned int. So this is of numbers, right? It contains numbers, so we call it as integers. And then hire date is string again, since we have dashes, and we have another type called as date. So we can use string or date, that wouldn't be a problem. And then gender and country, and they belong to the data type string. So we have our XML structure here. Copy this, and in the notepad take a new note and paste it. We have to save this XST document on our local system. So I'm going to do Ctrl S, and while saving this document we have to save it as .xst file. So let me show you. I'm going to say source underscore m details .xst. So this is very, very important. If you don't save it with .xst, message mapping will not allow it. We have to save the document with .xst. Now we have our source structure. Let's copy this target structure, target XML, sample XML file, and do the same thing. Paste it here and generate schema. And it generated the schema. Now we have the same type of data. Emp data is our root tag. It comes first, and then we have per person. Under per person we have name, age, income, all these details. Copy this and take a new note, paste it here and save it with .xst. I'm going to say target underscore emp details .xst. Okay, now we have our source structure, source XST, and our target structure. Let's go to a CPA tenant to see how to use these documents in our message mapping.